Welcome to Positive Atheism English channel. Second part of Atheistic Aesthetics. The influence of religious belief on sex relations was twofold. First, it organized family into rigid institution. Second, it imposed secrecy on sex relations. Family was already a unit of economic and social security. Religious belief added sanctity to family relations. It formalized marriage with religious ritual, laid down rules of inheritance, restricted the dissolution of marriage and prohibited sexual relation outside marriage. Moreover, religious faith extolled the virtue of celibacy and looked upon a celibate with greater respect than upon a married person. So, order of monks, nuns, friars, rabbis, mullahs, faqirs, sadhus and sannyasins became integral part of religious organizations. Women's lot became harder by the imposition of religious restrictions on sex relations. A man can contact secret sex relation with impunity, but woman's motherhood is an open witness of a sex act. Between the two parties to the same act, man goes free while the woman has to bear the full responsibility of the situation. The unwed motherhood of Kunti and Mary could not be concealed by the outstanding achievements of Karna and Jesus. So myth and miracle were woven round to justify their irregularity. Millions of women should be silently suffering the torture of a cruel custom without religious protection. The difference between man and woman in this respect and the justification for polygamy are a sordid confession of man's selfishness. Several kings took pride in harems of concubines while women were kept in parda, wheeled from a stranger's gate and preserved as a private property. Atheistic aesthetics remedies the injustice done to women by discrimination between sexes. Woman is not an object of man's pleasure. She is as much entitled to satisfy her aesthetic pleasure and sex desires as man. So she can be liberated from the shame of unwed motherhood when family loyalties are revised and the superstitiousness of sexual relation is removed. Secrecy is antisocial anywhere and more so in the realm of sexual relations. The family has been a hoary institution which represented the beginning of social organization. On the one hand, it provided social and economic security to the members of the family, especially to those who are too young or too old to look after themselves, and to the sick and to the disabled. On the other, it provided for sexual pleasures through the alliances of marriage. Despite the advantages, family has been a tiny unit of social association, too small to meet the demands of an ever-expanding civilization with its widening social contacts. So, what was a useful unit in early times has proved an impediment in course of time for the progress of human happiness. Two evils result from the outmoded institution of family in the modern age, namely sectarianism and suppression of women. The do's and don'ts that gathered around the family traditions encouraged inbreeding to tighten the family ties. The convention of endogamy preserved the purity of features and culture. But endogamy bred sectarianism too. The sectarian attitude of caste, race, region, and of nationality are the result of inbreeding. The sectarian pride of purity of race caused wars and conflict in the modern world. The disasters that accompanied the notions of Aryan culture under Nazi regime of the two-nation theory of Qadi Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah and of the policy of white man's superiority in South Africa, Asia and Australia threatened to destroy civilization itself by plunging it into the bloodshed of war. The convention of marriage that formed a party of family traditions allowed less freedom to women than a man, especially in sexual relations. Thereby family loyalty resulted by and large in suppressing womanhood, which forms half the population of the world. The examples of Lakshmi and Joan of Arc are exceptions that prove the rule. The opportunities of men far outnumber those of women who are confined to the home and kept under parda. In the modern age, when the state takes up the functions of social welfare and economic security, family loses half of its weight. The women's liberation movement tears the parda and claims for women equal opportunities with men. So family relations can no longer enjoy the privileges of former times. It can remain only as a symbol of filial affections and conjugal love. Nothing prevents a man and a woman and their children to live together, but they do so with free choice but not in obedience to a custom. At promiscuity looks outrageous to those who are accustomed to man's impudence. Just as democracy sounded the death knell of imperialism, promiscuity overthrows masculine supremacy and takes a big stride towards the equality of sexes. At first, mixed marriages mark the transition from conventional marriages to promiscuity. Mixed marriages contract alliances outside the traditional sanctions and widen the scope of marital selection. Intermarriages between persons belong to different castes, religious denominations, racial groups, and nationalities pave the way towards the development of one humanity. Of course, a marriage alliance affords emotional alliance also along with sex satisfaction. Yet it attaches a stigma to unwed motherhood and imposes a special handicap upon the woman. Just as the blacks are discriminated in humanity by virtue of the color of their skin, the woman is discriminated by virtue of her motherhood. It is promiscuity that removes the basis of discrimination by color of the skin as well as by motherhood. Wide promiscuity blurs the ethnological characters and there will be no motherhood by wedlock. The woman becomes an equal partner with man and stands as a mother to a child without reference to a father by wedlock. The advantages of promiscuity for establishment of equality of women with men are effectively realized when the responsibility of social security is taken up by the state. Thank you.
Please download Samaram multi-channel app and watch your favorite channels from your mobile. App available on Google Play Store and subscribe to the channels. For more videos, please subscribe to this channel Positive Atheism and activate the bell icon.